Was this the 95 worker versus streamer debate? What is harder? Good question, honestly. Um, obviously, go ahead and leave a like, a sub, comment something, show them some love because this is their original video, and I will not be watching the full video, so they can get some revenue and stuff from it as well because they deserve it. Let's have a look.
And say that your work is harder? That is so rude.
All right, can I talk? Can I talk? Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen,
Your job isn't dangerous.
You would have to actually have to go to work.
Oh!
Damn, they got mad.
Went to school and still.
And paid rent?
Yes, I still work.
Yeah.
You're high. You're hungover.
Credentials are playing video games. I play video games on my spare
I
time.
don't even enjoy streaming.
Good job, bro. Okay, let's get into it. I like the way he walked.
How's it going?
Same old different day.
That's a interesting start. Sounds kind of defensive.
Streaming and social media creation is harder than a 9 to 5.
Why did he love saying that as well? Damn, this is not starting well.
Nah, it's not facts, bro. 9 to 5 is way harder, homie.
Why do you say that?
Because you gotta get up every motherfucking day, go to the motherfucking bullshit job, and slave for fucking pennies.
See, that's the thing is you're right. You get up every day, you go through the motions. You don't have to get a good night's sleep. You don't have to be focused. You don't have to be locked in. You wake up, you go, you flip some patties,
Nah.
maybe
That's a bit weird. Why would you say that? Like that's a bit. You're not really connected to the reality if you're saying that shit. Like, don't get me wrong. I think people see kind of they know what they're going through. So obviously, whatever they do is gonna be a bit more important than whatever somebody else is doing. But that's the general thing. Like, is the story's oldest tale or whatever was it? Was it saying? I don't know. Comment. Let me know in the comments. But the thing is, your perspective is gonna matter the most on the whole situation because, for example, this guy is doing a 9 to 5, so obviously his job on his perspective is gonna be more complicated than this guy who's doing something else. And I think that's the general thing. For example, if this was like I don't know, manager at McDonald's, and here it was like a manager at IHOP, he's gonna think that he's doing more than the other guy, and the other guy will think he's doing more than the other guy. Just because that's how things are. People kind of see their perspective as the most important one, which is not a bad thing, but it is how it is. Um, personally, I think they're both hard in different. Sorry about that. In different ways.
sign a few envelopes, answer a few phone calls with streaming and social.
That's a bit. Oh, that would make me mad. Not gonna lie. That would I don't think you should say that because you're kind of making fun of the guy's job when you don't know what he's going through, and at the same time, like it's not easy. Like doing this for a day or two, yeah, maybe it is. But if you do 24/7, you're gonna find out you're probably not gonna love it as much as you think you would. And don't get me wrong, but this guy is a streamer, Lacey. You probably know him. He's already doing pretty well, so he wouldn't go to like a bad job. Like at the same time, I don't think one is necessarily harder, but I think this is every single one of them have different difficulties and different things. But going around and saying, "Oh, you just gotta put fries in the bag and you're good to go," I think that's kind. I don't think that's what he means it. I don't think he means it like negatively, but yeah, it's kind of it sounds bad. Don't say that. Don't go and laugh at people's jobs and whatever they do. For them especially, that's what they do. So that's hard. You know what I mean?
Media creation, you have to be on your game 24/7. It's like a switch
No.
that
When
never
you're a
turns
mail
off.
carrier, I'm a mail carrier, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I get treated like shit every motherfucking day.
We
I'm
have to
still
deal with
slaving
thousands,
every day.
tens of thousands of people
Bullshit.
critiquing every little thing we do.
I mean, I wouldn't say so though, because that's chat, right? He's talking about chat, obviously. Um, dealing with 100,000 people, like you're not technically dealing with them. You just read chat and yeah, obviously you do need to keep a um public opinion. You need to have public opinion on your side, so you gotta be responding and keeping it on check and so on. But at the same time, you do have mods as well to deal with the bad people that come into your chat. You do. I mean, I wouldn't say that's that hard. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not really sure because it's not like I have a million people in my chat that I need to deal with every single day, as he says it. But it just doesn't sound that as hard as, you know, actually. It kind of sounds like a bad argument in my position, and I think the way he explained it is kind of bad as well.
Decision we make, every thought
You
we
guys
have.
got it made, man. I wish I had
We
it made
don't-
like y'all.
Of course you do. Everybody does. Is that's the thing. It's not like I don't think this discussion is would you be a Twitch streamer earning millions of dollars just staying around. I think this is just which one is harder, and I think I think he's not wrong, and he keeps it real. I'll tell you this. He keeps it real. He says it. You know, if I could, I would do it.
Wish.
Sign a few
I
envelopes,
wish.
put 'em in a mailbox.
Man.
Oh,
gotta
that's
get ready,
fucked.
bro.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Sign a couple of envelopes and put them. So first things first, you don't sign any envelopes. You just take them and put them somewhere else. I think. You don't really sign them. I think you maybe put them on a piece of paper that's a different one, and you check them and so on. But you don't sign them yourself. That would be weird. Second, I think you shouldn't say that. Like just go, oh, your job is just signing some piece of paper and you put it from mailbox to mailbox. That sounds bad, dude. Don't say that shit. Respect everybody work. You know, maybe for you it doesn't sound too bad, but you don't know what the person is going through. You don't know how hard it actually is.
What's the next
Shit I
idea?
go through every
Oh my
day.
god, I have to stream today.
And I got dogs that want to bite my ass
And
every
you have lunch
day.
breaks. You have lunch breaks. We
I don't think Lacey should talk about lunch breaks.
don't have breaks. We're on 24/7.
You got
High energy, 24/7.
I wish I could be at home like you and keep back.
I wouldn't say so, because at the same time, yeah, you will, but you still get sleep. You still get everything. It's not like you're literally 24/7, not sleeping, not doing anything. Like, yeah, I get it. You need to act in front of the camera a little bit more enthusiastic and more active than you actually are, obviously, because that's what people want to watch. But it's not like you like 24/7 on, and you get no time to relax and so on. Especially because I don't think streamers do content 24/7, or at least 7 days a week. I think you still get days off and so on, and you can always take a little break and so on. I don't think it's that bad. But at the same time, I think if you do things that you actually enjoy, like streaming, like gaming, and so on, you're not going to get as tired as going to a job that you don't necessarily like. Or even if you do kind of like it, it's still work that you wouldn't do otherwise. So obviously, it's gonna let you be more exhausted at the end of the day than if you do everything you like. I would rather do 10 hours of whatever I would like. I would rather do streaming 100% than actually work a job, because that's something that I enjoy more. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my job. Dealing with people is very nice for me. But at the same time, if I could get the same amount of money I could just by streaming all day, I think I would take the plunge. I don't think that's crazy to say. I love my job again, but at the same time, if I could, I would do probably streaming more than my job. You know what I mean?
I can get paid
I don't
big
even,
money.
we're not even at home. We're walking around.
Man,
We're walking
I
around
wanna
doing
do
things,
all of
going
that
to
because
parties, doing
the
all this
shit
stuff.
I gotta slay just for.
The way he explains it is bad as well. Saying that you go to parties and that's hard. Obviously, all these people don't know what you're talking about. So obviously, hearing you say, "Oh, we gotta go to parties," that's why my life is very hard. Obviously, they're not gonna understand it. We need to explain it a little bit better.
Not even 100,000 a year. I gotta work double overtime. Bullshit.
Okay, what about this? You're guaranteed to get paid. You have a
No, I'm not.
steady rate.
If I don't work, I don't get paid. It's simple as that.
Yeah, but you have a guaranteed pay.
Guaranteed.
He's not wrong. I think that's a good argument. Again, very poorly put. Like, if you say, "Oh, you do have a job and it pays you at the end of the day," he's right. Like, as a streamer, you're not guaranteed to be paid, but as a big streamer, like they are, kind of are guaranteed to be paid. Unless you get like absolutely destroyed on the internet and you're cancelled everywhere, I think you do get guaranteed pay. You know what I mean? And the thing is, the difference between them is this guy is probably earning like, I don't know, maybe 30 to 40K a year, and this guy is probably earning more than 100K a year. So obviously, he's gonna live paycheck to paycheck, and it's gonna be a different experience from somebody that's earning 100K a year. You know what I mean? Obviously, their production though costs more as well, but at the end of the day, they will get a lot more money than this guy, which will obviously, from this guy's perspective, will make their life easier. And at the end of the day, whenever he gets paid, is gonna be a lot more than his. And rarely to never, I think this guy is now gonna make a profit. So I think it's kind of poorly made. If you're a smaller streamer, yeah, you don't know when you're gonna get paid. That's why you still need the job. But after you get established and so on, I find it kind of hard to fell off. And if you do fell off, 99% of the people that actually fell off, they should have enough money to live their entire life without worrying about money ever again. My opinion.
You pay if you
No,
work.
I
That's
don't.
your decision if you don't want
I
to work.
gotta work at the job for
If
years.
I don't go live, I don't get
just
paid
to
either.
collect.
You don't got to deal with people spamming L's.
Yes, we
Huh?
have
Bro, this guy, we don't have to deal with people that spamming else. I mean, he's right. In his opinion, he's right. Like, people don't understand because they haven't been there. So obviously, people spamming L is really motivating and it makes you want to quit. I understand what he's trying to say, but he doesn't know how to put it to other people. So people when they say, "Oh, but people are spamming L's," well, buddy, it's not. I mean, if you just tell that to a random person, he's gonna be like, "Wow, wow, I got bit by a dog one day at work." Like, obviously, they will see it from a different perspective. They're not gonna understand.
people in the chat spamming L's.
Sorry, let me.
This is bullshit. We don't like this video. You have to create content.
They're crying.
Imagine you have to be.
Yeah, that annoyed them.
Oh, hey guys, how's it going? You guys like this stream?
That's me 24/7. I'd rather do that.
So why don't you become a streamer?
Man, that's what I want to do.
He keeps it real.
Does not
He
apply.
keeps it real.
If streaming is so easy, how come?
Sorry about fucking with the microphone so much.
People are lazy. They want to put in the work.
That's not a good argument for him. He fucked up there. I don't think it's a lazy thing, to be honest. Or maybe it is. You know what? Maybe it is. Because a lot of people wouldn't even start. So I think. It's not. I don't know. Is it laziness or is it like people don't really think they will succeed so they don't even try it? I don't know. But. Yeah, that was a very bad argument. Why would you even say that? And. Sorry about that. I can guarantee you, if all these people could, they will definitely be streaming. It's a better life, I can tell that one.
That's their fault.
I get called fat all the time.
Oh, so
So am I.
what? I get called fat and chubby. All my homeboys call me chubby, fat,
Well,
whatever.
That's your homeboys, though. I'm going to keep it a buck. That's your
Yeah.
homeboys.
Yeah, and you right, homeboy.
No, he's right. In a way, he's right. Like Ron is right. It's one thing when your friends call you fat, and once they give like millions of people call you fat, it kind of feel different.
Boy, you right. But check this out.
It does affect your morale a lot.
I'm gonna go out there and get that bag.
I think she's got something she wants to say.
Oh my gosh, wait, we're seeing flags.
Unfortunately, these
Bro, I love
flags
Adapt.
actually
Adapt is so
we
funny,
decided
dude.
to use a timer instead because we suck at explaining things.
Nice. Yeah, I mean they're right.
You raise your flag. Is there a reason you did that?
Because I was
Ex-chef.
for 15 years. So that means for 15 years I had to
I love when chefs or cooks actually call themselves cooks and not chefs. In my opinion, food from cooks, they're always gonna be better than food from chefs. I'll be honest. It's just because you have that homey vibe, and they're not gonna be like. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of chefs that are nice. That I love them, and they do consider themselves chefs and not cooks. But I think, like, especially like her, old lady cook that just makes you lasagna or something. I think just tastes better. Having you play with your homie with cooks food, things usually better.
get up
Da.
fast to go to work, and I had to deal with not only adults, but I also had to deal with children.
We deal with children every day,
We
too.
deal with tens of thousands of children and
Not live ones that are actually there. Like it's not face to face kind of issue. Like you cannot say that you deal with kids if you don't actually deal with kids. You know what I mean?
The Lacey Thugs are. Do you not know who the Lacey Thugs are?
I can't go out in public without 10 kids coming up asking for a picture. Do you know how hard
Yeah,
that
but
is?
they kind of leave you after, no?
Difficult.
How long do you think this is going to last?
Forever.
Forever.
You think this
hopefully.
is going to last forever?
I hope so.
Hopefully.
Point for me. I don't have that security that's gonna last forever. Having a job, being
That's
a
why
cook,
he gotta
you
grind.
have that security of, oh, I have a job.
Not necessarily. You can get fired quite easily. and you can just not get another job easily, and then you're fucked.
I have a degree. I have this. I don't. This could end for me tomorrow.
Hypothetically, if you said, if you
Yeah, and you would get a job. So I don't know if that point kind of
all
makes.
of a sudden you lost all your followers, what would you do?
I know what he'll do. Get a
No, I'm asking
trigger
him.
warning.
I'm asking him. What would you
Job.
do?
Get
If
a
you
trigger
lost
warning.
completely all your YouTubers, you had nothing. No one watched you anymore. I didn't even watch you anymore. What would you have to do? You would have to actually
So she watches him. Interesting.
have to go to work.
Ooh.
Oh my God, did I just cuss at you?
That's a slur. If I did lose all my followers, I would probably buy a couple houses and start my real estate empire.
I'll be honest. The video makes him look crazy. It makes him look crazy.
Okay, so then you would have to actually go to work. You would actually have to go to the office.
And I would think that that would be a much easier job than streaming.
You gotta go into your setup though and sit in front of studio lights and read the chat and be interactive.
But
and
no,
stuff.
he lost everybody. He lost everybody. He has no followers whatsoever.
you're-
He would
you're-
have to turn
yeah, but
around.
you're proving my point.
You would have
You're
to
proving
turn
my
around.
point. You're proving my point on why this is harder because I could lose it all
Yeah,
tomorrow.
but you could lose.
Yeah, but you could lose your job tomorrow as well. There's no guarantee anybody else will hire you. And to be fair, the difference is Lacey probably has already a couple of millions. He can literally buy houses and then just rent them. But if you get fired from a usual job, it's not like you're gonna have millions to just go into some other high income thing.
Lose it tomorrow.
If let's say you're a cook, right? Let's say you got fired. You have hundreds of people lined up. You could go cook over here, cook over there.
You
Make
could be a
food here.
private chef.
You could be a private chef. Exactly.
That's not
I don't
true.
have that
I
security.
was a cook in the school system. I cooked all frozen food.
It's different. And 99% of the time, you're not gonna have 100 job opportunities, especially in this market. People will just say no because whatever. Like it doesn't work like that. Getting a job is not easy anymore, at least.
But you still cook.
You still cook. You go cook for another school.
I think I saw a flag right here.
Flags. I see red flags.
I'm gonna have to backlight. Yo, Lacey, it's the truth.
I think something you guys aren't taking into account. Say we get a brand deal, I gotta post on an Instagram story. I gotta go find the 4 local cans. I gotta make sure.
Bro, they make it seem so bad. Like their arguments are so bad.
Like I gotta make sure I get the 4 local can. And
Not to mention, it ruins our Twitter impressions too.
I gotta tag them.
That's literally my opinion. Oh, sorry, you guys can see it. This is literally this is literally the face everybody else is making.
Then that goes into falling off.
My name is Rhonda. I'm a registered nurse from the South.
Nice to meet you.
From
Rhonda.
Let me actually move this a little bit.
35 years ago, I decided to go to nursing school because I wanted to be a creative. I thought I loved fashion, I loved acting, I loved singing. But in the South, whole lot of racism. Back in the 60s and the 50s, people didn't give a rat's ass if you created something. And
Oh,
they
that's
wouldn't
worse.
support your business. So yes, a 9 to 5 is much harder. I had to work 7 to 3, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I had to support my daughter.
Rhonda,
You get
Rhonda, can I
spoiled.
ask you a question?
Nope.
Have you ever
You
done it?
get spoiled.
Nope.
You get spoiled, and your mama and daddy keep
Rhonda,
giving it to you.
Rhonda,
Because
I got a question for Rhonda. I got a question for Rhonda. Rhonda,
Yes.
have you ever done a subathon?
What's a subathon?
30
Deadass.
days straight.
24.
The thing is, they're not wrong. It's just the way they say it. It's really bad.
Hours a day.
Day and night. No break.
We all stream
That
for.
ain't even healthy.
You're talking about working 7 to 3. You have 2:30
Happen.
breaks throughout that. You get to go home afterwards, see your family, relax. We were on camera 30 days straight.
I don't think during those 30 days they literally didn't do anything but actually make content. Like I'm sure they slept and I'm sure they took naps and did nothing for large periods of time. Don't get me wrong, but I do get it. It is hard. I think people that didn't ever do a subathon don't understand how hard it is, but at the same time it's kind of I don't know about that one, Chief.
No personal.
What
You know
day
how hard
were
it
you
is
a registered
to
nurse?
have.
When did you get a break? You clean boo boo?
When have you ran a
You-
3-minute ad?
You
When have you
clean
ever
up
ran? You
vomit?
never ran a
You-
3.
Bro, the way they say it, it's so bad. They're not gonna win anything like that. Okay, I think Lacey is done for now. Let's try to get somebody else. Like I said, if you want to see the whole thing, watch the whole thing. But I don't want to like show the whole thing because I want the creators to be paid for whatever they deserve as well.
It's not harder than what you do.
Well, you're guaranteed to pay.
Guaranteed to pay.
Yeah.
And that makes it harder?
Yeah. No, it makes it easier for you.
Makes
guys.
it easier
Yeah.
because we have a guaranteed pay.
100%. You have
Makes
security.
it
Talk
easier
about
for
raises.
Makes it easier for 9 to 5 people.
But what if you get fired? Like I don't think any of them is necessarily guaranteed pay.
To have a job because their pay is
Yeah,
guaranteed.
when you go to work every day, everyone's
So you're
like,
basing the ease of a job just on somebody getting paid regularly? Is that what you...
well,
And just get
say
fired.
That comes to perspective. If you say someone who works food, if you someone who works a doctor, it's obviously different. But if you're talking abroad, 9 to 5, someone who doesn't need a degree, yeah, it's way easier than being a streamer.
How
I think he puts it a lot better.
Well, it's because you're guaranteed and you don't
Jason.
need any crazy knowledge. You don't need to go to school for most jobs, like certain things like a 9 to 5. If you wanted to go work at Foot Locker, I could go to Foot Locker, apply, and then next thing you know, I'm selling shoes for pay every single hour.
So according to you, a
Keep
job
doing that.
is easier or harder
It's fun as
based
fuck.
on the guaranteed pay. That's one
A 9 to-
aspect of it.
Working
right?
at
Yeah.
Foot Locker,
Okay.
working at a job like Panera or wherever Lacey is,
Sorry about that.
easier than a streamer. Yes,
Panera.
because a streamer, you have to come up with ideas. You have to stay relevant. There
Oh,
was
we're talking about ideas now. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
what do you-
talking about pay.
okay. So what do
So
you want to
that's
start with
one
though?
way that
But it
it's
doesn't
easier.
make. But
Well,
you're not
you
even.
started with
You're not
pay.
even. You keep switching it. So why don't
I'm
you
not
answer my
switching
question?
anything.
Yeah, you 100% are.
Yeah.
So how is it harder if you're guaranteed to pay? I worked for 4 years of streaming. I didn't make $1.
Well, what's your definition of hard? That's the thing. It's like what
Stuff
is
that you need
difficult.
creativity. You need to
Okay.
get out of your circle, comfort
Sure.
zone.
Yeah.
You need to be able to actually make people believe what you believe in the sense of like, oh, this is good content. Do you watch any TV shows?
I watch YouTube.
Okay, you watch
so
YouTube.
much YouTube.
So it's the same thing. So the people that
Absolutely,
you're
yeah.
entertained by are the people like us, just for a different audience.
That's true. But you're talking about entertainment as a job. We could talk about entertainment.
This is entertainment,
As a job.
but
That's the thing. They're both jobs. Like even if they're making a different kind of money, even if they do something else, still a job. Still a job. So I think it's kind of hard to say which one is harder. Because technically you're just trying to sorry about that. Trying to differentiate between two jobs. So I don't know.
this
Yeah,
is entertainment.
entertainment
But
as
my
a
question
job
to you
doesn't have
is
any
why
guarantees.
so,
Absolutely.
so do you truthfully you can sit here and think that working at like a Foot Locker or something like that, I'm just using that because that's the best
Sure.
example,
Yeah,
is harder than a streamer?
It depends on what you are saying the word.
Now he's putting up a good point though. Like actually hard? Which one would actually be harder though? Mm, yeah, but the thing is, technically, if you put a Foot Locker worker in comparison with a streamer, it cannot be like one of those big streamers. You need to put it in comparison to like a low entry streamer. Like Foot Locker is a low entry job. So technically, the thing is, he's putting comparison between his job as a streamer and a Foot Locker employee, which is just a entry level job technically.
Hard means to you because
In the
there's
sense
So
of
it's
every
not
day.
the same thing.
Some people around here said, "Oh, I got to wake up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m." Oh,
Yeah.
okay, we have to do the same thing.
Sure.
Some people do that.
And you deal with yourself.
No, we deal with
You-
millions
when
of people.
you're creating that content and you have your phone,
Okay.
you're dealing with you and yourself in that phone.
Okay, so what happens?
You're not dealing with
Not true.
coworkers and you're not
That's not
dealing
true at
with-
all. I have an
Okay.
editor that I pay who relies on me. If I stop doing
Which
any
is
type
later.
of content,
I'm-
he loses
So
a
when
job.
you go to your job, when you go to work, rather than punching a card, you pick up your phone or you turn on a camera.
Okay, so when you punch the card, let's say, who's above you? Your boss, right? What happens if he just takes the business and he says, "Oh, we're not doing it anymore"? You lose your job.
If the work is picking up a phone or turning on a camera as opposed to going in with a bunch of people and having to multitask tasks you have to do throughout your shift
Yeah.
and deal with your
Tasks you gotta do
coworkers
throughout
and
the stream.
interpersonal thing. Tell me how much you do of that stuff while you are actually doing your job for however many number
Okay,
of hours
perfectly.
that you are talking and typing and shitting and eating and all that stuff that everybody's watching you do.
Go ahead.
No, but there's actually a mental aspect.
I understand that, yeah.
No, let me hear me out.
Go ahead.
Camaraderie. Like you have like a group of people, like friendships, relationships, which is the most
Sure.
important thing in life. So do you build that with your coworkers and stuff like that? And
Sorry, bye. See you later.
seeing a lot of flags.
Okay, let's see a couple more minutes of these, and then we'll try to switch some by somebody
I'm
else.
Angelina, and I work as an executive assistant.
You're right. You're right.
The clip.
So you guys were talking about the mental aspect, and I thought that was really interesting because as someone who works a 9 to 5, technically it's a 10 to 6, but I still
That's the thing. It depends on what kind of job. Let's say like an entry level job as Foot Locker, like just a Foot Locker employee, it's one thing. But anything else, like let's say you work in the mines, and saying that, being a streamer is harder than working in the mines, I think that would be kind of crazy though. But I think that's the whole point, is just the perspective and the level you're talking on. Because you cannot, like, if you put Foot Locker employee, you need to put it with the entry level streamer. Because if you put it like a big streamer like Ron and Lacey is, it's a bit different. But if you put an executive like that, it's kind of a bit of a closer time.
walk in a certain amount of time. I come home, I'm
And like doctors, like, I'm sorry, but seeing people, their last minutes and so on, working hard, wiping people's pee and seeing the things they see. Fuck me, I think that's the worst jobs.
too tired.
Like, don't get me wrong, they're heroes, but I would never do that.
Fortunately, I have a beautiful girlfriend that does all of that stuff for me when I get home. But if I didn't, I would have
Whatever.
to cook for myself and get to bed in time and wake up in time to commute back to my job. You guys talk about how it's hard because there's a mental aspect, and I
That guy started doing that as well.
understand as someone who's been on social media a lot that you get
How long have you been on
berated.
social media? Just to get broad.
So I actually did content creation starting at the age of 14. When I moved to LA, I gained like 10,000 followers
She should be with them. Wish there.
off the bat, and
Damn.
I was very young and I started working with different brands.
Okay.
I totally understand the mental aspect. It's just that you guys can afford to say, hey, I'm gonna go wherever for 2 weeks, and that can be content, that can be your job, and you actually get to relax and travel the world and have other
So
opportunities.
you're just saying a lot of points.
There's no relaxation.
Just so I can answer a couple.
Mhm.
So you were saying like to go back to the beginning, you were saying like you can manage like your time with like relationship. Was that correct? Like you have your girlfriend when you go home. Like
I fortunately have a support system, but I every day like ask myself.
That's a point as well. The social aspect of it, like relationships and so on. I think that's one point for the streamers though, because I think it's a lot harder to maintain a relationship when everything is televised and people are always going to try to do bad stuff to you, as well as all the other aspects of dating, jealousy and so on. Especially if you're streaming like them parties and so on. Obviously, that's going to be an issue. So maybe that one is for the streamers.
How I would
so
have
I'll
been
give you
able
a
to do it
perfect
without.
example. You said 14 you started. I started at 16. For about 3 years, I was making money, and it slowly went super up, and then all of a sudden it went down. Right?
Yeah.
I lost everything, fell off
He was about to
completely. About to kill myself. Real story. This is a real story. This isn't a joke. Why you smiling?
We've all been there.
We all been there.
Every
Damn.
9 to 5 worker has been there.
So
That's
going
why.
back to what you said, how you have a support
She's
system.
not wrong.
I moved across the country from my parents at the age of 19, lived alone in an apartment, was paying a certain amount of money every single month, and I was losing money. I wasn't making enough money to pay my like I had money in my bank for my rent, but I wasn't making
It was
more than my
serious,
rent.
yeah.
So I was
You
losing.
were in the red every month.
I was in the
I
red
got
every
you.
single month. Girlfriend broke up with me at the time, so alone
whammy.
across the country. So it's like when you're alone too and everything's going down, where's my support system?
I don't like why she's laughing, bro.
Okay, so
I think that's different issue. It's not necessarily which job is harder. Because at the same time, he could have just stayed with parents and have that support now. Because it depends. I think it depends a little
I
bit.
have a question. You said
But I
that
don't
in
think
the
it's
first
a
4 years you started streaming, you
good
had no
argument for
income.
this discussion.
How are you able to survive?
I lived with my mom. I was 16.
So that to
See, kind of disprove their point. Okay, let's go to the. This guy seems so funny. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not a phase, just the way he says things.
And you have a large following enough where there's enough of a range of perspectives that people will always be on board for you as long as you're producing content.
That's not true.
People who screw up at their jobs and lose their jobs. And
No, it can get cancelled as well.
There's not a lot of jobs, as could be now.
It's not true.
You know, they get potentially homeless or worse.
That can happen to them as well.
What's that? Yeah, of course I've heard of it. But how many people have been canceled and came back?
That's what I'm saying.
It happens all the time.
Not a lot of them. No, that's not true.
To you if you don't get that thing in on time 5 times,
Okay, but check
you're
it out.
done.
Okay, so listen, but to be able to get that loyal following of people that do follow you,
Yes.
you need to build that over years
Okay.
and years
Okay.
and years and hours of
Okay.
trust
Valid point.
and communication and intimate and
He just came. Get killer eyes. He's going in for the kill, boys. Sacrifice. That was funny. No hard feelings, but that was funny.
intimate relationships
Oh,
with
shit,
your
this is
audience.
very hot in here,
That's
sorry.
not something that's just given to you.
Look,
That
the
you don't
things-
just fall into 1 million subscribers, 2
Of
million
course
subscribers,
not.
3 million
Of course
True.
subscribers.
not. It takes work for sure. But like what you guys are talking about in terms of like the toll it takes on you, a large part of it, and let me tell you something, I'm a little older than you guys, so a large part of it is just general angst from being young, and you just have
No,
to
it's
have a
not.
camera in front of you and like talking to people or whatever. But at the same time, like you're doing exactly what most people are doing, which is dealing with life stuff, and that's normal. Like the mental toll that it takes.
I see
dealing
their
with
point.
people and getting comments and this and that.
Because that's how they see it. That's the thing. That's how they see it. And they're not necessarily wrong, but I don't think they're right.
That's what everybody deals with.
But that's how they
Like, you
see
don't
it
have
because
to
they don't
wake up
understand
at
it. They
6 in the
haven't been there.
morning And get to your job and then be there and like be on the whole time, no matter what. Anyone who has a 9 to 5 has to do that.
I said, what do you do?
Well, I'm a college professor, so I have to do that same
So
sort
you
of.
just gotta come in and teach the same shit for the next 10, 15 years?
Yes, you're right.
Come on, bro.
You're right,
You
you're right.
already know what you're doing.
We have to produce new shit every day.
For me in particular,
That's a good point as well. They need to produce new shit every single day. That is actually a good point.
to Silky's point, you're a college professor, so you're essentially reteaching the same curriculum to the same students.
That I had to take
what I'm
years
saying?
to learn, but
You know what I'm
yes.
saying? But I started making content when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
It started out playing Call of Duty trick shotting. I
You were-
don't think
okay.
anybody in this room could hit a crane shot. I don't know if anyone in this room could quick scope.
I don't know if that's something to be proud of,
dude.
but okay.
I love
did
that.
for 4 years,
Okay.
right? And then I'm like, okay. Then I
I think
had to
they're all
do
funny.
for 4
They're all
years,
good.
Right? And then I had to do FaZe Clan, build FaZe Clan out, fix FaZe Clan, and then
Okay.
do streaming.
Okay.
So
And
you're
with how many
constantly-
people helping you?
How many people helping me?
Yeah.
Come on now.
For which stages?
All of them. There were a lot.
And that's the thing. That's the difference between being your own boss and doing your own thing and being somebody else's employee. That's not a difference between jobs. That's a difference between what type of job you have. Like, no, I'm not saying well, but it's one thing to be a boss and do everything for yourself and then have people that you employ help you do it. And there's other things when you employ to somebody. So I think that's technically not a good valid point for this discussion itself.
You had a team.
When I was trick
Was
shotting-
it just you? Like
No. It
Okay.
was just me. There's receipts of this.
it wasn't built on the shoulders
Yeah.
of anyone?
At the beginning, you're not gonna have anybody. It's not like you're gonna start with a full team of people.
There's receipts on YouTube of me.
Okay, well where did YouTube come
There's
from?
receipts.
How did YouTube become so easy? Because a
I'm pretty sure 90% of the people don't even understand what's going on.
bunch of people worked their butts off 9 to 5, making it a thing.
That's
and
what
if
you
it
did
didn't
for
exist,
the
if it didn't exist, you couldn't press play.
So one good point would be a 9 to 5 is a bit more linear than an actual streaming job because a 9 to 5 technically you do have like a roadmap of what you need to do. When you create the content, I think it's a bit different because you don't know what's going on. You just need to create things out of nothing without knowing what's going on and hopefully that will take off. And you just gotta follow trends and so on. But you don't have like a specific roadmap that you can take it that you know if you do this, then this is gonna definitely pop off for you. So I think that's a good point. I think that's why it would be a little bit harder as a streamer.
You couldn't press record and then just talk.
It's not a linear as a job.
Boom, there you go.
Right, but I also had to spend years earning my credentials and mastering.
And I did it.
Come on, guys. Your credentials are playing video games. I play video games on my spare time. Come on, guys.
That's never a good point.
It's okay. We understand.
Yeah, as I said, I don't think they understand because they're not in the same thing, so they don't really understand what's going on. No, that they're not say it properly. They just don't understand the other side.
Hundreds of times throughout years of my life have kids come up to me and say these things. So
Okay, let's see this one.
I'm a server at an Italian restaurant.
come on, bro. Like,
Oh,
that's not fair.
he has the same menu.
I don't think that's good to say.
First thing I'm gonna say is nobody's gonna say being a nurse isn't hard, because my aunt was. That is the most difficult shit. How are you gonna disrespect your mom like that,
she
dude?
is right now.
You're gonna disrespect your mom and say that your work is harder? That is so rude, honestly.
She works 2 of them.
Okay,
she works at 2 hospitals.
let me ask you something.
In my opinion, any kind of hospital work, I would say I wouldn't touch. So that's why I do believe it's harder.
She said it's mad easy. She can work at 2 hospitals.
No disrespect, but what you do.
I mean, to be fair, if he does have experience with it, I think it kind of depends on the person as well. But I see why he would think that's easier.
I'm not your target audience, so break it down for me, because I don't even get it.
Oh my God.
Let me ask you something.
You just said I'm not your target audience because I'm black. That's what you just said.
Crazy.
You don't want to watch me because I'm black. And this is what I'm talking about. It's harder.
I don't think that's what he's saying.
Everybody thinks I'm a hoodlum. I'm a nice guy.
He's a jolly dude.
I can't get a job because I got tats. I used to work at Costco.
I don't think that's what he meant.
I had the greatest 401k granted to me. That means that when I retire, I get the biggest stipend of my life. Do you know I could just sit there and just meat pack all day just to really realize that, what, maybe 20 years I'm going to be sitting on millions because I worked at Costco's?
Yeah, Will.
Okay. I didn't have to interact with nobody, just packing meat.
Yeah, Will.
Come on, bro.
Is what you do fun?
I mean,
Do you enjoy what you do?
if I make it fun,
Do you make it fun?
I could make it fun.
Yes or no? Is what you do fun?
Not everything's fun.
What isn't fun? Break it down for me. What do you do in a day?
I'll tell you what. Making the clips, as in partying, doing the fun part of it, creating the clips, like recording the videos and so on, reacting to stuff. I think that's fun. But then there is the other issues, which is not fun. Editing, in my opinion, it's horrible and I hate it. Doing the like allocating different money for different things, upgrading stuff, trying to always keep up with stuff, going and researching topics for hours, doing like all that behind the scenes things is not always fun. I can tell that one.
Swap stories. What do you do in a day?
Okay, so it's very stressful, right?
Not fun at all.
He didn't start too well.
Because this dude was talking for 20 minutes about playing video games.
Whoa. It sounds like you're jealous, I'm not gonna lie. But
You're on his decent.
I am not gonna lie.
okay, so look, right?
So I'm jealous of a harder job.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
that was sarcasm. You didn't read it. No, I'd like to.
No, listen to the time that I wake up. I wake up maybe 3, 4 p.m. Know what I'm saying? I'm already drowsy because I just smoked the night before. You know why I gotta smoke? Because I just deal with thousands of people. I don't even like people. I gotta deal with thousands of them.
That's not good to say. I think they're going too far and a bit weird. Like I get it in a way, but the way they said it is pretty bad.
No, let him stay. You gonna stay for this, right?
Wait, but you still haven't described what you've done other than smoking pot and waking up at 4.
Okay, waking up at 4 p.m., right? Now wake up, I gotta brush my teeth, right? Gotta make sure, because I gotta.
It's never good to add those kind of
A lot of
things.
comments. Now, he don't brush his grills. What does his real teeth look like? I gotta make sure that my
He got shit now.
It's ugly.
and his girls in his chat too sometimes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
See him.
I gotta make sure I'm freshly saving. I'm not saving for this video. I already know what's gonna happen. It's about to be negative comments. Yo, shave that little scruffy shit on your face. Cool.
So he
Right?
got fat.
Now I have to game Marvel Rivals for probably 1 to 2 hours before stream. You know why? Because I don't get to game it for after work. Like I could just game it after work, bro. I can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't just do that, right? After I do that, now I gotta sit here and plan with somebody.
Everybody's doing this thing now.
Oh, looks like we got no content. All right, let's see if we can just scrub
Guess
something
what?
around.
No content, no money.
No content, no money. Now look, probably by 8 or 9 p.m., I'm still probably thinking I got to do something for stream. My mind is
Do you
fried.
know what's crazy?
My mind is...
9 p.m. for him? Oh, I did my work
He
today.
did my work today. He took the same boss already. You're going to sleep. What?
I think that's a valid point as well.
I don't want to hog the space here too much, but
No.
do you know the expression, give a man enough rope?
You're losing me.
He'll kill
No,
himself?
I don't know this. I don't know.
He'll kill himself.
Basically, you're talking yourself into a hole, man. Okay, my turn. I'll be brief.
Wait, give a man a rope.
What is he?
Wait,
It means-
is that racist?
Wow.
Get this racist
Play
out
that
of
card.
here.
Play
He has
it.
no social
All right,
cues.
all right.
Oh, you're back?
Oh, he got done mad.
Your black auntie.
Yeah,
That's what I
okay.
want to say.
Uh-huh.
You say you don't like people. It's all about relationships that you got with people. So when you say shit like that, do you really mean that?
Do I not like people?
You said
I'm an
you
introvert.
said,
I'd rather be in my own space. I'd rather be by myself.
and that's okay. But what is it that you're doing that's helping other people?
What am I doing?
Them laughing as well in the back, I think, puts fuel on the fire and makes them not see eye to eye.
Yeah.
Saving lives. I'm a superhero.
He's a hero.
I'm a superhero, no cape.
How about that one? Just because he didn't have anything else to say, not because he's a hero with no cape.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You look great. You look
That's
great.
right. I'm Thelma again.
I believe 9 to 5 is harder. I mean, fuck.
Got him. He's done. Well, I guess that was his opinion, you know. It's just fine. Let's go to the next one.
But
Okay.
I've worked since I was at the age of 14. I was a gamer too.
I just think personally, like I agree with Jason that I think
The thing is, they're not gamers. They're entertainers, which is different. And just because they see them as gamers, I think that's what kind of doesn't resonate between them. Oh, sorry.
more stop than a 9 to 5, and I also think everybody in here, right? If you guys all try to be a streamer, right, and then we all try to do what you guys do.
I was in your chat.
The probability of everybody
Was in your
becoming
chat.
an attorney is way higher than somebody making streaming a career.
Absolutely, your job is you just got lucky because you're a gamer.
I think that's kind of annoying. You know how I said about the oh, you just need to sign letters and put them in the letterbox. I think that's the same thing if you say oh, you just got lucky. I think that's true,
It wasn't pure luck.
and that's very annoying to hear. No, it's not.
But
Maybe, but not getting paid. That's a different thing.
what I do, I'm not posting selfies around the world. It's basically all pure talent.
Wait,
Okay.
can I just why is he lucky? Why do we all get lucky though?
What is your talent?
Yeah.
Call of Duty. I was a professional Call of Duty player, like actual like. The
So you were
gaming.
sitting at home and you're thinking, what am I going to do with my life while you were gaming? You're like, oh, let's put a
I was
camera.
16, so it wasn't really like
yeah,
that.
You,
So
you weren't really thinking of what should I do with my life, like what should I study, what should I like, where does my life go? You just got lucky.
It's not luck. It's
because
just he's determined. He knows that's the only route.
He didn't get lucky. He put in hours.
yeah, no,
That's
yeah,
what we do too. We go to
it
school,
wasn't
we
luck.
study.
Everybody's a little bit of luck. I think people who don't have a job, they feel they want to get.
You're lucky to get a job as a lawyer or whatever and make it big. Like you're lucky to make it big, not, but at the same time, you need to put effort into having the ability or the opportunity to get lucky enough to get to that point. You still need to put in the work.
Lucky by getting a job. So I think people even
Again, that's very disconnected as well.
He said, how many people of us could do this? No, it's luck. It's 1 of a million because for whatever
How is
reason.
that luck? If 1 out of a million, that one
No.
has to be the best. So how are you going to dismiss
Is
all
he
of his
the
hard
best?
work and all of his
Is he the
talent?
best?
I got
Is
four.
it?
I got
No,
four.
no, no,
last
but
year. No. Let me give my statistics. There was over 300,000 people that played Warzone last year. This is the game that I play.
Okay.
I got 4th. So I was a top 12 player across the entire world.
And you're telling him
That's like-
you're
That's not luck. That's
like
pure.
less than
That's pure
1%.
skill.
So you're dismissing, is Michael Jordan lucky? Is
Exactly.
LeBron James lucky?
Yes.
Are they lucky?
I mean,
Exactly.
They have a
Yes.
talent.
No,
They
they.
have a talent.
No, she just came in to talk bad about him. That's it. She got no like actual opinion. She just hates that those guys actually got it so big, and she doesn't like that. That's why she's saying it. There's no other. She's just saying things to be mean at this point
You know how many talented
because she just
people out
doesn't
there
believe in it.
don't get the chance, don't get the shot at it?
I don't want to take up his time. So he's not talented.
No, I don't think if there was somebody like Kobe or Michael Jordan and so on, I think they would get a spot. There's no other. It's not like, oh, you're very good, but you know what? I'm just not gonna take you in.
That's what you just said. You just said what he did.
I
To get
said
to where
a
he
lot
is.
of people are talented don't get the shot to do what he does.
Or people who
So
make it
it's
to the
luck.
NBA. But I didn't even get a shot. It was well, I did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Me, you know, there was no one who gave me a shot or anything like that. I simply was. You dead ass?
Yo, you being serious?
Why you laughing?
Yeah, I think they got kind of rude as well. Like, see, there's a lot of disrespect. I think Lacey was a bit disrespectful to say that shit about oh, you just sign things in and put them in the past. But at the same time, I think they're being very disrespectful right now as well.
Why they laughing, bro?
It's not luck. I've been doing this for 13 years. I uploaded 3,000 videos. 2,000 was I edited myself while I went to college, worked a job, and still went to school.
And yeah,
So that's not. I mean, if that's fucking,
stand on it, stand on
if
it.
that's luck,
where's the luck at in that equation?
Again,
is there a percentage? We are all lucky in some way, right? If we all have a job, we're lucky
Yeah.
in some sort of way. But off of specific pure talent, and I worked on that since I was 16.
again, I work with many talented people. I'm not saying about you. I'm
Yeah.
just talking in general. And there's so many people that are very talented never get a shot because they don't do the right thing. They don't go the right path. They don't meet the right.
And they did. That's the point. They did do all the right things. That's why it's hard. I think that's what they wanted to say. Yeah.
People. So there are so many even talented actors here. They never get a shot. So I'm just saying it's pure luck.
It wasn't luck.
No, it's
I
not.
just saw an opportunity.
Because for example, if it was just pure luck, there will be like, what about, how can I say it? If you're lucky enough to get born with, let's say, the amazing skill of or let's say what they are doing. Let's say Call of Duty, you're really good at Call of Duty, and you're lucky enough to be very good at it. People will watch you. Like, unless you're in a forward country where you cannot even play it, people are gonna watch you. But you still need to put a time in. You still need to upload clips. Like, if by any chance, let's say Tens would just got reborn tomorrow, and he would play as good as he plays or even better, but he would upload absolutely nothing and he would put no work into it, obviously nobody would watch him. He would not be able to get a job or anything as he does now. And that doesn't make no sense.
Genuinely took it. It wasn't a
Still
chance.
work.
It was simply just, you know what?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm talented at Call of Duty. This is what I want to do.
And they put the work into it.
Years to make it a
For example, a lot of people are very talented into cooking or whatever.
It's a talent.
That's what people say. You know, just because it is a video game, it's not important enough to be even taken in consideration. But that's the opinion.
Shit a dick ride? Hey, he's made tens of millions of dollars playing video games, so.
Exactly. That's that privilege. That's that privilege.
But I'm saying though, you couldn't hop on a game and do what I do.
You couldn't do
That's
it.
a skill.
Your son couldn't do it.
some
Your
people-
grandkids couldn't do it.
Some people
Your
can't.
son's grandkids could never do it. They could never do it.
Anything that takes a talent.
The genes are done. They can't do it. They can't.
How many
They
hours
can't.
a day did you spend?
When I was younger?
Yeah, when you were younger.
Oh, I would wake up 3 hours before school. So I wake up at 4 a.m. and I would play before school. Bus would come at 7. I go to home, come back, and do it again. I was 16. What's funny?
Okay, no, that's enough, I think. Go ahead and watch the whole video. It's really good. Like it, leave a like, leave a comment. Honestly, personally, I think it kind of spiraled into this, you know, whoever has the biggest pair of balls in the room. But do I think the 95 worker or streamer is harder? I think they're both hard in different ways, and I think it depends on what level you're actually taken into. Because if you, for example, put a level entry whatever with a lower entry streamer that doesn't make that much money, I think it's not that far away. But if you take like a big streamer, a lower entry job, yeah, obviously a streamer would be harder. But if you take somebody that works in the mines or somebody that is a doctor and saves lives every single day, obviously I think that's going to be harder. I think the conversation is not fluent enough to actually be able to say one of those things. Like you need to put specific jobs, otherwise it doesn't really work. But obviously, people that work 9 to 5 jobs that they don't understand what the streamers are doing and the fact that they're entertainers, not necessarily gamers. I don't think they understand that, and I think they're kind of hating a little bit as well into it. So I don't know. And my conclusion: be nice to everybody. Understand that everybody's doing their job and everybody's doing whatever they can do, and everybody's putting effort into their job. Obviously, there's some exceptions, but everybody's putting a hard time into the job. So just be nice to everybody and don't just insult people because you don't think what they do is hard. It's a bit dumb. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed.